Hello, everybody, and welcome to the number one way to achieve health, wealth, and happiness. And those of you who have worked with me before, know me, know that I am totally science-based. Even when I'm teaching Reiki or I'm teaching other things that are energy healing that are considered, woo-woo, and some people consider that, woo-woo and so on. It's all stuff that has been studied, it has been tested. We know it actually works. I don't promote anything that I'm not really sure works, and not just for one or two people. As somebody famous once said, for instance is not proof. What I'm talking about today is stuff that has a lot of research studies. We know that it works for a lot of people in a lot of different circumstances in a lot of different countries. So anyway, moving forward, my name is Victoria Leo, and I am an integrated healer. If you go to soaringdragon.biz, soaringdragon.biz, you can see all of my programs that integrate clinical hypnotherapy and coaching and energy healing and whatever else is tapping and whatever else is needed. I've got multiple certifications to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And I've got several breakthrough programs that are just intensive for about a month to get you some traction, and then you can decide where you want to go from there. Anyway, you can go to soaringdragon.biz. You can read my blogs. I've got a blog that is soaringdragoninjapan.blogspot.com. And of course, I have a Facebook group called Healing Minds, Healing Bodies. So anyway, I've got credentials up the wazoo. You can read all about it. We don't have time for that now. What I'm focused on now is making sure that you understand that the title of this webinar notwithstanding, I love meditation. Meditation is wonderful. It's very transformative. So is yoga. And I don't mean yoga for exercise. I mean yoga with the breathing and the insights and then so forth. Okay. So no insult to these things. However, there is something that has been shown to be even more powerful as a way to positively impact your health. And when I talk about wealth, what I'm talking about is if you do this, you're likely to have breakthroughs in your business, if you're running a business, in your career, if you're lending your efforts to an organization, and happiness. Because if you're happy, you're likely to be able to positively impact your health, and you will definitely impact your wealth. Okay, so those three things are all linked together. So what is it that I'm talking about? What I'm talking about is creativity. And particularly among Americans, when I use the word creativity in a sentence, there's an immediate pushback. People immediately leap in with, oh, well, I'm not creative. You've got a human brain. Of course you're creative. We're all creative. It's our human legacy or our human curse, depending on how you want to look at it. But this is our birthright, the desire and the ability to create. Now, what you create is not necessarily gallery worthy. It may not be what you consider creative, okay? So let's talk about just the biology. All right. When you are engrossed in the creation of something, maybe you're building birdhouses, maybe you're designing a garden, maybe you're writing a story. Now, the point here is creativity, not writing so that somebody will buy it, painting so that somebody will buy, designing things so that for somebody else's requirements, quote, creating something so that somebody else will like it and give me money. Okay. That's not as powerful. What we're talking about here is when you are going deep, deep, deep to the depths of your soul, and you are tapping into the depths of your soul, and you are engrossed in this process. It's that engrossment. We've all had experiences. Well, okay, some of us have had experiences in which we're doing something. We're afloat for a school banner, or trying to create something as a Christmas present, or trying to build something in a home shop, or planting a garden, where time literally ceases to exist. I've had this experience many, many times. Literally, time ceases to exist. I'm there in that present moment, doing what I'm doing, and my brain, right, which is monitoring my blood sugar, looks and sees that the glucose levels drop and my liver's trying to compensate. But after, 2-3 hours, my brain is trying to send my hindbrain is trying to send messages to my conscious mind. Duh, food, hungry, which is one of the most non-maskable interrupts, if I can use some technical jargon, some electronics jargon. That's the sort of message that generally nothing can stop that, because that's about survival. Think evolutionarily, the people who forgot to eat died, right? Those of us who had a brain that, said, "Hey, food, we remembered to eat." We survived, we had healthy grandchildren, blah, blah, blah. And that's why all of us here have these brains, hindbrains, that go, food, every 3 hours or so, okay? When the glucose level drops, if I am engrossed, if the average person, and then we've done, psychologists and neurologists and other biologists have done studies on people deeply engrossed in something, my conscious mind shuts down all input to anything else. My limbic system is involved. My conscious mind is involved. All these levels of creativity in my brain are involved. And we shut out all potential interrupts from anywhere else. I mean, if my clothes were on fire and I was ready to die, that pain would probably get through. But ordinary, it's time to eat, I'm hungry, hasn't got a chance. You sit there until you're done. And then you wake up and you go, oh my God, it's 7:00 at night. I haven't had a meal in 5 hours. I missed lunch. I forgot lunch. I've just been here enjoying myself, And this is not extraordinary people. This is a potential that exists inside all of us. Getting engrossed in something that uses every ounce of what we have as people. And in order to do that, you have to At a conscious and an unconscious level, you have to give yourself permission to drown in this creative process. To stop with the, oh, it's no good, it's not gonna, it doesn't live, you know. You have to learn, and I can help. As a professional, I can help you to turn that critical, evaluating voice off so that you can pour your true and deepest desires, your heart and soul, onto a canvas, a piece of paper, a three-dimensional physical object, clay or whatever, wood and, power tools, or, non-power tools. You can do such incredible things for your body. Again, research. Cortisol levels, the stress chemical, main stress chemical, it's way down. While you're being creative, and for up to 48 hours after, depending on how long this creative break was, which is amazing. It's cortisol and cortisol's effect on other inflammation processes in your body that helps stress cause heart disease. Stress cause outbreaks of psoriasis and other autoimmune diseases. Makes it more likely that you're going to have insulin resistance, leading to diabetes. We all know stress kills. And creativity doesn't just drop these stress chemicals. It has enormous impact throughout your body. It boosts serotonin neurotransmitter in your brain. It increases dopamine, happy chemicals, right? So creativity creates happiness. Happiness is a brain condition that you can induce. You can create it, you can make it happen. And when you're having fun, you're producing more of these chemicals. So fun begets fun. Happiness begets happiness. You just have to kickstart it. Okay. So when I'm talking about creativity, okay, because so many people have this self-critical stuff going on, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Okay. Give you some examples. Okay. I have experimented with practically everything. Different kinds of paint, oils. Oils are just too fussy for me because I want to, I'm feeling stressed. I want to have a creativity break. I want to do it now. I don't want to, set things up. Okay. For other people, oils are great, whatever. I prefer acrylics or watercolors. Okay. And remember, just because I do it doesn't mean I do it well. Embroider that. It's creativity, right? Embroider that. Just because I do it doesn't mean I have to do it well. Nobody's evaluating this. Don't show this stuff off to people and expect them to say, ooh, that's really beautiful, right? If you need affirmation, come work with me. I'll work with that inside of you so that you can go to the right people to get the, ooh, isn't that great? Yeah. And get your own affirmation and make a connection to your spiritual powers. Okay. But we can work on that, right? The key is this is not so that somebody outside of you can go, oh, ain't you talented? This is something you're doing for you, because the mere doing of it changes your biochemistry, gives you health, wealth, happiness. Okay. That's what you're doing it for. Not so your wife, husband, mother, best friend, rugby team will tell you how clever you are. Okay. Give you some examples. Cheap canvases, and I'm talking like you buy the value packs, $2 per canvas. The paints are $1.49 per color. The brushes are, you get like 5 brushes for, $5. I don't buy fancy stuff, okay? Because I'm not doing it so I can sell it. I'm doing it because I want health, wealth, and happiness, right? Okay, now, important principle. The first time you do this, you're going to have a voice in your head saying, oh, this is so silly. Okay, just breathe your way through that. Because when you're done is when you're going to feel, oh my God, what this has done for me. Okay, trust me. Just do it once, and you'll feel the difference. Okay. One of my favorite toys, which I don't have here for show and tell, are adult coloring books. Don't let the word coloring book turn you off. And this has been a hobby of mine for like years, since I was very young. By very young, I mean 20, okay? Not a child, a grown-up adult. And high quality colored pencils, okay? And I buy, the 48 color packs because I love the colors and the nuances. And you can take art classes and get better at this. Why not? But the point is, there are so many different kinds. There are incredibly detail mandala-like things. I prefer animals, and there's a book called A Walk in the Woods. Dover Publications has been doing this like for a million years. Life in Colonial Times. Uniforms of the Civil War to color, right? The point is, it's the process of engaging with shapes and colors. Again, the neurobiologists are scanning people's brains while they're doing this. What gives you the value here is colors and shapes. So any colors, any shapes that you like, just take a deep breath. Don't ask yourself what color horses are supposed to be. Just look at the colors and say, I like this color. I want to have an orange horse, or I want an orange sky, or I want orange trees, or none of the above. With my coloring, I would never in a million years wear orange, unless it's the blouse that my sister gave me, which I wear because it makes me feel close to her, even though it's not good for me. But I like painting in orange for some reason. I love painting in orange, okay? And coloring in orange. Do whatever you're drawn to. Let your unconscious mind, your limbic system, whatever terms you want to use, let the part of you that's not analyzing and criticizing pick the colors, pick the pencils, fill in the horse or the, whatever it is, okay? And let yourself get engrossed in it. If you have children, a lot of my clients who are parents, with the younger kids, it's crayon coloring. With the younger, I've got a client who's got teenagers, and she's gotten them, Tuesday night and Saturday afternoon is art time. And it helps calm everybody down, right? The teenagers are dealing with a lot of fears, and they're dealing with, crazy hormones. And my client is menopausal, so she's dealing with crazy hormones too. So everybody benefits. And it's when you're involved in this deep creativity, it's about you. You're not looking at what the other person is doing and critiquing, even if it's positive critique. What you need to do is get yourself to detach from the need for somebody else to have an opinion. And I tell my clients, it doesn't matter what I think, what anybody else thinks. This is about you. And in American culture, we don't have as much of an experience of having something that we're not looking for somebody else's opinion about. I teach a class called Writing for Non-Publication. It's the same thing. The creative stuff that I do, that's just for me. And I may share it with my family eventually, or not at all, or whatever. But this creativity, these things that you're doing, okay, they're for you. So even if you're doing it with other people, focus on yourself. Get the benefit for yourself. Okay. The more you focus on you, the more you'll get health, you'll get wealth, and you'll get happiness. And when you're happy, that you can share with everybody around you. Okay? So, adult coloring books. Back before they're popular, you can find them in grocery stores now, for heaven's sake. I used to go to museums and places like that because the gift shop always had, the art of, Marc Chagall. You could do your own Gauguin. And wildlife. Because of me and the animals. I love animals. So go to a toy store, go to a children's store. I live in cool, trendy, Puget Sound and Southern Oregon, Ashland, Oregon area. So, every little shop has these really cool, coloring books. So try that. Enjoy. Okay, enjoy that. Something else. Again, cheap canvases, cheap paint. I do acrylics. This was for the Year of the Snake. And this, my spirit was giving me the snake. I did another thing that looks a little bit more like a snake. You can see a yellow snake, a blue snake, a purple snake, and a pink snake. And your conscious mind is going to be sitting there going, snakes aren't blue, snakes aren't purple. And remember the rule, whatever calls to you, speaks to you. Okay. I love this. I don't care if it's not gallery worthy. Okay? I love this. And a lot of the stuff that I do is enjoyable for as long as I'm doing it. And I keep things for a couple days a week. And then I look at them again and I was like, do I want to keep this? Is this going to continue to inspire me or not? And if the answer is not, then I paint over it. Okay, who cares? Something else that I personally do is watercolors. I never took a watercolor class. I just bought a $5, for kids, watercolors with a cheap, brush. And I got some other brushes. Okay, and then I bought a more expensive set, for $8. That's twice as many colors. Wowie. And I just started, I got some paint, some watercolor paint, paper, and I just started playing with colors without a conscious plan. I didn't plan what I was going to create. I just started playing with colors. And then I stepped back and I said, oh my God, there's the sky. And there are the waves. Beautiful waves, to me, beautiful. I don't care if you hate it. And a beautiful sky. And again, I wasn't planning to do waves in the sky, but I just started playing. My unconscious mind, I'm quite sure, was thinking, ooh, I want to do an ocean. But it didn't tell my conscious mind. Just told my conscious mind, go grab some pink. Okay. I told you I love orange. And this is a landscape with a yellow sky and orange hills and some orange and dark green trees. Okay. I love this. I don't care if everybody hates it. You don't have to look at it. And one day I painted something. I painted the brown, the yellow sky and the brown and black rocks. And I just felt like it was missing something. So I went rummaging through my toy chest, because I buy all kinds of stuff. And I saw these stars and was like, oh, yeah. So I put the stars on there. And then I said, yeah, that's cool. That's what I want. Yeah. Okay. I think the technical term for that is mixed media. Woo, who cares? Something else that I do that is creativity, and in many ways pure creativity, but it also has a practical bent, is I crochet. And I make hats and scarves and comfort shawls and, and all kinds of stuff for people I know, people I don't know. I sell them. I put Reiki symbols into them. They're healing. A colleague of mine had the shawl, ended up going to the hospital, wrapped the shawl around her, and all the pain disappeared. Reiki has been promoted by the American Medical Association for pain relief. And I use the master symbol, which creates an energy channel to her. I use the master symbol on the shawl, and then I put all these other healing symbols into it. And I'm guessing that's what happened. Is through that she made a connection to me, and through me she pulled healing energy from the universe. So that's my explanation of it. There might be another explanation of it. I don't know. All I know is these things that I do for fun, for my enjoyment, also have an impact on other people when I give them as gifts or I sell them. Okay. And I've got things on Pinterest. You can see, what's for sale. The other thing that I do is I make things for myself. For example, I've got a Kindle, and I created a little carrier, so I can carry it, the flap, and there's multiple layers inside this. So I put the power pack in its own little sleeve, so it's not scratching the Kindle, and then the inner thing for the Kindle itself, and then there's something in the back in case I want to put something else there. It's like I can carry things around in this. This is cotton, and I really enjoy it. It's really practical, and I really enjoy it. I've got a friend who is crazy about wolves, and I'm in the process of creating. I do stuffed animals, all right, and mostly stuffed animals for myself. I do a lot of snakes. I love snakes. The symbol of Kundalini. It's wonderful. But this is going to be my very first wolf, and I got the eyes and the nose from a craft shop, Michael's, I think, or Joann's. Anyway, it's got stuffing, right? And I used a combination of fake fur combined with that same cotton. That different color, but same brand of cotton. It's very squeezy, very squeezy. I'm in the process of figuring out how to create the rest of it. I'm making the body in one piece and the legs in separate pieces. And I did the tail already. She's got a fluffy tail. But that is, it's very creative, right? I don't work with wood personally today, but I used to build my own furniture. I would get kits. And even when I was working with a kit, with all the pieces, pre-cut and the hardware provided, I would just get so engrossed. And I would decide what I wanted to paint or what I wanted to stain. Just, it was wonderful. And then I had the immense pride of being able to walk around my house and see my dresser and my chest and, and all these things. And I made myself. One of the things that our modern, post-industrial culture doesn't allow us to do is make things and then use them. We've forgotten, many of us never knew the thrill that comes from making it yourself. I've made skirts and blouses. And the blouses is, if you're doing it for a woman, we've got a certain amount of topography that you have to, things have to fit. If it's going to be fitted, it's a little more complicated. But skirts, half double crochet, a gazillion rows of it, certain amount of increasing so that it's not an A-line. I made a pencil skirt, an ankle length pencil skirt, and then I realized with my long stride, I can't long stride skirt. So you learn. But it's great for Sunday or Saturday or Friday, whenever you go to church stuff, because you're not trying to walk very fast or very far. Just again, strolling. It's a strolling skirt. But there are so many wonderful things that you can become engrossed in. And even when I'm making clothing, there's the colors and the shapes, right? Guys, this is a guy thing. Guys' brains, same thing, right? You can do coloring books with your kids. You can do coloring books with your wife or husband, or a significant other. Friday night main squeeze, whatever. And you can create in so many different ways. Focus on color and shapes. Color and shapes. That's what seems to have the biggest impact on your brain, that sparks the serotonin and the dopamine and gets the cortisol levels to drop. Okay? Think about ways to incorporate creativity into your life. I know people who take a break at lunch and walk and look at all the colors and shapes. Photography doesn't have the same impact. When people are, looking at the brain, it doesn't have the same impact, probably because people are just going click, 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 click. You're not as, you can be engrossed in it, but you're not using your hands in the same way. There's something about the gross motor skills and fine motor skills. All you're doing is going click, 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 click. It doesn't grab your brain in the same way. Okay. Now, there are always going to be exceptions, and there are people who are going to be, don't email me and say, oh, no, I'm a photographer and I blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you do. I'm just encouraging people to do more than just take your cell phone and go click, 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 click. if you're going to take a walk at lunch, for your health, yay, do that exercise, please. Yes. Bring your cell phone and start seeing things. See with your soul, not just your eyes and the things that just get ignored, right? See the world with fresh eyes every day, okay? Because that makes the serotonin and the dopamine and the cortisol go up, cortisol goes down. It helps. It really helps. And give yourself, carve out an hour to do this. Maybe on the weekend if you've got a 9-to-5 job. Maybe in the evening, right? And if you have family members or you absolutely have to have the television on for whatever reason, get as far away from it as you can and do these other things. Okay. I encourage people, if they're going to be watching television in the evening, to also move their body, do hand weights, get the exercise going. And the other alternative is do something intensely creative. Paint while you've got the TV on in the background. Eventually, you'll be able to turn it off. Eventually, you will. You'll be able to, really get fully engrossed. In any case, time's up. I hope that I have encouraged you to take advantage of this wonderful tool for health, wealth, and happiness. Don't stop meditating. Don't stop doing yoga, but do this also. Creativity. Let your soul soar. Soar with the dragons. Visit me at soaringdragon.biz, B-I-Z. I've got tons of free content and an encouragement to you to join my newsletter mailing list. I've got PDFs that I send to people who sign up for my newsletter, get on my mailing list. I don't have the time. I'm too busy with clients, etc. I make a commitment to at least every 2 months. I try for every month, but my absolute commitment is every 2 months. My newsletters are full of content. And I'm not going to be emailing you the rest of the time. I don't have time to bother you, and I have zero inclination to bother you. If you want to sign up for my services, you know where I am. Okay, that's my philosophy. You don't need to be nagged, so you're not going to be getting emails from me every other day. Okay. So feel free. It's safe to sign up for my newsletter because you're not going to be getting spammed. And use this tip. I try to do something creative every day, even if it's just working on my wolf. Start out small. Start out small once a week. Buy some cheap medium watercolors. Okay? Just keep the colors separate. Clean the brush off before you put it in a new color. Otherwise, you'll end up with a muddy mess, which could be interesting. That could be an interesting form of art. The muddy mess school of of art. Whatever. But do it. Make a commitment. Put it in your calendar at least once a week. Once a week for an hour. Give it a try. And remember, the first time you do anything, you're going to hate it. That's just the way your brain works. Okay. Our brains don't like anything new. We like to think that we're an innovative species. We're not. You're going to hate it. And secondly, especially, if it's this creativity stuff, you're going to feel like an idiot because you got these voices in your head, right? I'm worried about what other people are going to say, right? Just breathe through it for the first session. After that, you're going to be having so much fun. Those voices will quiet. Okay. Enjoy.